Hello and welcome to Dragon Budget, where my goal is to help you play the Dragon Ball Super card game on a budget. Now, what we're looking at today is this leader right here, Set 14, U7 Son Gohan. Now, I think this leader gives a very good opportunity for new players or players on a budget to be able to play a deck that is powerful and can do a lot of interesting things. So we're going to get right into it. If you look at Son Gohan on his unawakened side, he's got 10k power. He has an ability that whenever you combo with a skillless Universe 7 card, you get to draw a card. He also is able to awaken at 4 or less life like most leaders, or more importantly, you can awaken with a 2-drop Unison. You just play it, you get to awaken him right away. And then you reset energy and draw a card. On his other side, he has that same ability where you combo with a Universe 7 card, you get to draw a card. But he also has a Spirit Boost ability. You can Spirit Boost 1, taking a marker off one of your Unisons to increase the combo power of one of your skillless battle cards by 6k for the turn. He also has an ability, if they kill your Unison, you get to play a 2-drop skillless from your discard pile into play. So I think he's got, pretty good range of effects. You draw a lot of cards with this. It's pretty good. Next up, we got Krillin. Krillin at 3, the Challenger, or Universe 7 Challenger, my bad. This card is really good to be able to play turn 1 and be able to get one of our skillless cards out of our deck right away. It's a nice cheap option, nice turn 1 play, not much to say there. Next, we've got We Are Universe 7. This is a bit of an older card, but it's just a cheap common. This lets you search your deck for any Universe 7 card 4 or less, which, spoiler alert, is almost every single card in our deck, or get one back from the drop area. So this can just be nice to fish out a piece you need, or one of our boss monsters that you'll see later. Just kind of overall a pretty decent card at a 1-drop slot. That's all we're running for 1-drops. Next, we have Frieza, Unlikely Savior at 4 of. This is our main Unison for the deck. This is going to allow us to kind of start our whole engine off. You really want to get this card as soon as possible. It has a +1 ability that lets you put a skillless battle card in the bottom of your deck, so you can just kind of keep on recycling and plussing. It also has a +0 on your opponent's turn, where you can actually combo with a skillless battle card when your opponent attacks, which actually is one of the only effects on the game that lets you combo with a Unison. So you can kind of have this be 20k on one of the attacks on your turn, or Spirit Boost it up to 26k if they're doing a double strike or something like that. Also, if you Spirit Boost on your turn, it lets you neg one of your opponent's cards. Overall, I think this is the best Unison for the deck, even if we were on a budget. So it's definitely a 4 of. Next, we got 3 Yamcha, Merciless, Barrage. This is one of the best red cards in the game. I mean, as soon as you get in the game, you'll kind of find out that every color other than black has one of these counterplays like this. Usually they can be quite expensive, but this was just printed in a starter deck recently, the Vegeta starter deck. So you can actually find these for just a $1 or $2 on a TCG Player, wherever you buy cards. So we definitely want to run 3 of these. What's this counterplay? Neg two things 15k when we have our Frieza in play that we're planning on playing. It's a great card. Next, we've got our skillless. We got 4 Piccolo. And 4 Goku. So we got our skillless package right here. These are pretty self-explanatory. They're just 2-drop beaters with Universe 7. These are kind of run our engine. We can search them out with our Krillin. We can combo them off with Frieza's ability, as well as they work with other abilities that we have. One important thing about this deck is in order to get the value off of our leader, we're going to want to be comboing with a Universe 7 on at least our turn or our opponent's turn. So we could, because he doesn't draw a card naturally. However, if you're able to combo on both yours and your opponent's turn, you can actually draw 2 cards kind of every sequence of turns. So we really want to make sure we have these U7s to use for that. What kind of works with these skillless as well is these cards. We've got Android 18 Universe 7 Challenger and Android 17 Universe 7 Challenger. These cards both have the same effect, where primarily where when you combo them with a skillless Universe 7 card, and they're the only other card in the combo area, you get to draw a card. They have some secondary abilities too. They're all right. Honestly, you don't usually play these unless you absolutely have to. I think at 17 is the better one, which is why we're running 4. But really, the goal of these is to kind of shotgun them out with the skillless cards. You combo with a skillless, you draw a card with your leader. Then you combo with one of these, draw again. You've got a 10k combo, you drew 2 cards, and they kind of interact with some of the other cards we're going to show. So I think these are more great combos for the deck. Next, we got a really good starter card, also from the starter Vegeta deck. This Son Gohan, Surprise Attack. This card is really good. This is one of the bread and butters of the deck. What he allows you to do is basically, if you've comboed with at least 2 red battle cards, you can just pay 1 energy and play them and neg something 10k. So what's great about this is you kind of do your shotgunning with your Android 17s and 18s and your skillless Goku Piccolos. And then you just get to pay 1. You get to play a 1 mana 20k that negs something 10. You just play these down all game. You're just flooding the board with these Gohans. It's great. One of our other kind of red, play stuff from combo thing is this Frieza Fairweathered Friend. I think this came out like a year or 2 ago. This is a very interesting card because when you combo with it and you have a unison in play, which is going to be our Frieza, you can just pay 2 energy and play it. It's a 20k double strike and has an interesting ability where when your opponent plays a counter ability, you get to neg something ignoring barrier by 30k. So you can kind of kill a lot of stuff with this. It kind of dissuades your opponent from wanting to counter you and just kind of puts a lot of pressure on. This is a very good option, especially compared to the more expensive 4-drop Ultra Instinct Goku that a lot of people are running right now. Just as a one-of, we've got this Vegeta Surprise Attack. This card, when we Spirit Boost, lets us play us for free, and it's just a 15k crit. We don't always consistently Spirit Boost or know when we're going to, so you're always kind of wary running too many of these. I could see this going up to a 2-of, probably never more than that, but right now it's just kind of a 1-of in the deck. It's a pretty decent card. You could replace it with something else if you wanted to, but I think I apply some decent pressure. Then we've got the boss monster of our deck, Spirit Boost Warrior Son Goku. This is the card that ends games. You play him. He's a deflect, double strike, dual attack, so he's not getting counterplayed. And you're going to get those, start swinging with those 2 attacks. This card takes 4 prizes all by itself. It also has built-in protection. As long as you have a unison in play, you can basically pay Spirit Boost 1 and put it back into play if it gets removed by a skill or something. It also has an ability that almost like beans it and your leader on your opponent's turn. It's just a great, amazing card. I'd almost want to have 4 of them, but I think 3 is a decent amount because we draw a lot of our deck. And we also have We Are Universe 7 to search us out. Next, we've got our super combo for the deck. We've got this Goku right here, Backbone of Universe 7 Son Goku. This is an older super combo. The thing I like about this is he is a Universe 7 himself. What that means is if this is the only card you combo with on a turn, you get to draw 2 cards off your super combo. So it's great for that reason. It's also great because it activates when you're at 5 or less life, which most super combos these days go at 4. And the interesting thing about that is when Gohan awakens, he goes down to 5 life. So if you go down to 5 life, your super combos are automatically online and drawing 2 cards if they're the first Universe 7 you've used that turn. So I think this is just a phenomenal super combo, and I like it at 4-of. Now into some of the spice, we've got 2 Champas, Furthering Destruction. This just lets us, a lot of times we often have a free mana or energy available. You can kind of just use that, pay 1, get a double strike. It's a great way to just put on some extra pressure, and I think it combos very well with our next card, which is Dimension Support Trunks. This is a card that is an older card, but it was included in one of the recent black starter decks, so it's pretty cheap. You can overwhelm this for 3 and 1 mana to play this, and a 2-drop skillless from your deck that gets crit for the turn. So basically, it's 1 mana. You only have to overwhelm 3, so you don't have to have that many cards in your discard to use it. You get 2 attacks. One of them's got crit and stays in play permanently afterwards. And then what I like too is you can also Champa the crit. skill list that you get off of Trunks, and then you can cut a double strike skill list. So I just think in general this puts on a lot of good pressure and is a really good option for this deck compared to more expensive Overrealm options. So I really like it a lot. Next, or last, we just got negates. We got Unending Awakening. I think this is a very overlooked and very good negate. If you're running a red Saiyan leader, this card is actually absurdly good to the point where you might even want to run this if you had access to every card in the game. It negates an attack and basically beans your leader, gives it plus 5k for the whole rest of the turn. So it means that you negate that attack, and if your opponent's swinging 15ks, they got to get just that much higher every single time. So I think this is a really good card to just have and run, and it's pretty cheap as well. Lastly, but certainly not least, we got Testing the Opposition. I think these set of cards is kind of one of these for every color, but especially red. This is one of the best cards you can get for red right now. You definitely want to buy a play set of these. It's really good bang for your buck. As long as you're at 5 or less life, you can take a life from yourself and basically negate an attack and play a token that gets blockered for the turn. So you effectively stop or mitigate 2 separate attacks with 1 card by just taking a life. And it's automatically online as soon as we awaken. So I think this is a really good card to be able to kind of get us through that mid game and get us to our, boss monster, win the game. So anyways, that's the deck. The way I go about deck building and the way I think about things is, we're trying to make something that is strong and powerful on a budget. I ran this deck. I actually put a whole cart together of this deck on TCG Player, and it was only $22 to build the entire deck. So, I think that this can have an immense value and be perfectly fine to take and compete at locals with. And I think that's the goal that we should be striving for in the card game community, is helping more players be able to come into the game and, kind of play something that, feels like a real deck and has some oomph to it. Maybe even if they're on a budget. So I think this is a really good option for that, and I would encourage any new players to look into this deck. You can get a lot of these cards from the new Vegeta starter deck that came out last set. Actually, the funny thing is that this deck is the entire deck is almost cheaper than that whole starter deck. So maybe you just want to order the cards singly, but you can get some other good stuff from the Vegeta deck too, including the leader, if you just want to pick up a couple copies of that and get the rest of the commons. There are certainly upgrade solutions as well for this. There's a 1-drop Gohan super rare that is extremely good for the deck, almost to the point where I almost included it in the budget list, but it did put the cost of the deck, up almost an extra $20 for the full playset, which isn't too bad, but I really wanted to keep this as cheap as possible for an entry level. So that's where we're at. Thanks for watching Dragon Budget, and I hope to see you again soon with some more budget deck profiles. Thank you.